Well, hello and welcome to Aligned Fitness Living. I'm Mike Thornton, your transformation coach, and let me welcome you to video number 2 in this free 4-part series, 8 weeks to a leaner, stronger, happier, and healthier you. I'm so glad that you dropped by today. You're going to love the information that we've got in video number 2 for you. And the theme for video 2 here is what I'm calling the 5 secrets to get and stay fit when it comes to food. Okay, 5 secrets. Ooh, it's so secretive. Well, they're not really secrets, of course, but these are the 5 strategies, the 5 things that I've seen in my 16 years experience that people tend to use to not only get fit, but to stay fit as well, to be fit and healthy. And I'm going to share those with you in just a moment. First, I want to review a little bit about what we talked about in video number 1. Video number 1, we talked about the 2 biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to fitness. Mistake number 1 was trying to do too much too fast. Trying to say, all right, I've got to improve every single area of my life and I've got to do it right now. Because what happens is that's not sustainable. And of course, living a fitness lifestyle and sustainability go hand in hand. So, mistake number 1 was trying to do too much too fast. And we'll get opportunities to talk a little bit more about that. Mistake number 2 was waiting for the stars to align and for everything to be perfect for you to get going. Because again, that's not going to happen as well. And I heard from a lot of you guys. Thank you so much for your comments. And I hope that you'll comment on this video as well. But your comments were fantastic. So many of you said, man, you got me. That's my thing. I keep waiting for everything to be perfect. I keep waiting to make sure I've got all my clothes in the car, or I keep waiting for there to not be any traffic, or whatever it might be. And we talked about one of the most freeing mindsets you can have is the 5-minute mindset. And I got to hear from a lot of you guys that you really liked that 5-minute mindset, and I do too. And if you didn't get a chance to see video number 1, you can click on it somewhere on this page. Go back, watch video number 1. It's about 15 minutes, but it's got some really good information there for you. And we're going to talk a lot about the 5-minute mindset and a lot of different areas of your life that you can apply that 5-minute mindset to. We don't get to it all in this free video series. Please understand that. I'm trying to give you just enough information to where you feel like you're getting something valuable from this. But of course, I'd like to see you at the end of this. Join me for the 8-week program. So that being said, let's get into today's information, and I know everybody's salivating at the mouth because this is the stuff. We want to talk about food, because how do we get it right? Well, I'm going to tell you something. In my early 20s, I didn't get it right. I want to share my personal story with you really quickly. Yeah, see, I was one of those guys that got to play high school football and, was an athlete in high school. And basically, you could eat whatever you wanted to because you were going to go practice football for about 3 hours every single day. So me and my buddies, we'd go hit up a pizza buffet, or we'd go to, get burgers and fries. Or we could eat whatever we wanted. The glory days, right? Well, of course, we weren't setting up very good habits, but point being, is we could get away with it. We were still chiseled because we would go burn however many calories working out, and plus we had those young metabolisms going. Well, the thing is, I thought I was still a high school football player in my first year of college, but I wasn't. See, I stopped all that activity. I didn't know it. It took an aha moment for me. Maybe you've had an aha moment, but I'm going to share my aha moment with you because I thought I was still in shape. And one day, this infomercial comes on TV. I think I was probably eating pizza and drinking beer, and I'm with my roommate at the time, and one of these commercials comes on. It's an infomercial for, some type of fitness program. This is back in the mid to late 90s, and all of a sudden, my friend perks up and he goes, "Hey, you look like that guy's before picture." What? I look like that guy's what? I look like his before picture? Not the chiseled guy over here on the after picture, but the soft marshmallowy guy over here on the left? Yeah. And he didn't, to his defense, he didn't realize what he was saying. He was trying to say, hey, you look like that guy. But he had to differentiate between which picture. And he was like, hey, you look like that guy's before picture. I did. I kind of looked like the guy. And I thought, man, what? And I remember I snuck off. And I went to the bathroom, and I shut the door behind me, and I kind of turned to the side, And I remember kind of going, where in the world did this stomach come from? It was as if the blinders on my eyes had been knocked off. And I realized I was out of shape. I needed a transformation. The thing was, I didn't have a clue as to where to start. Not a clue. Again, I was one of those guys that could eat whatever I wanted to, and I was playing football, so I was always just following that regimen. Now I didn't have a regimen. Now I didn't know what to eat. At the time, I was continuing to eat like I was still in high school. I was eating fast food, and I was eating pasta and bread every day, and I was just continuing those habits. So at that moment where I decided something has to change, because this is not me. I don't feel healthy this way. I don't feel good about me this way. Something had to change, but I didn't know where to start. So what I did, I jumped on this fad diet at the time, and I'm not going to say the name because it might still be around, but I jumped on this fad diet, and that fad diet had me taking in 900 calories the first couple weeks, and I was starving so much that at the end of 2 months down the line, my sister looked at me and she said, "Hey, are you okay? You look a little sick. You look a little bit like a POW." I had successfully gone from a before picture to somebody that looked like they were sick because I had lost so much weight so fast, and I had lost so much muscle weight that I did not look healthy. So I went from one extreme to the other, but neither one was healthy. And I remember my frustration, and I remember thinking, how am I going to get this right? And it was in my last year of college that I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to study this thing. I'm going to start doing some research. This little thing called the internet had come along, and I started to do some research, and I started to read some books, and I wanted to know, how do I get this right? How do I get this right? How do I know how much food I'm supposed to eat? How do I know what the quality of that food should be? Is protein important, and how much do I need? I remember asking all these questions, and it's so much that I embraced learning all that information so much that in my last year of college, I decided that I was going to, instead of waiting tables and being a bartender, start being a personal trainer for other people. I'm not going to get too much into my personal trainer story, but just realize that the information I'm about to share with you right now comes from personal experience. It comes from not knowing, craving that information, and now over 16 years of my fitness career, being able to share it with other people. And I put just a sample of it into this video right now. So when I speak to you, please understand, I've been there. I've had to make a change in my life. I've been helpless. I've been at that moment where I'm looking in the mirror going, what are we supposed to do? So if you're at that point, join me over the next few minutes, and let's talk about the 5 secrets, or the 5 strategies, if you will, that people use when it comes to food to not only get fit, but to stay fit. And I'm going to say this one thing ahead of time. Don't knock any of it before you let me finish. Because I know I'm going to say something that strikes a chord with you, and you're going to go, I'm out! And I want you to make sure you watch this all the way through, because I got another if you like the 5-minute mindset that I shared with you in the last video, I called it my gift to you. I have another gift for you, that if you just combine the 5-minute mindset and this other gift I'm going to give you over the next week, I guarantee you're going to start seeing results, okay? So hang with me. But the number one thing that fitness lifestylers, people that are living a fitness lifestyle, have done to get where they're at when it comes to food is that they know their numbers. They know their numbers. And what that means is they know how many calories they're supposed to be taking in if they want to maintain their body composition. They know how many calories they should take in if they want to lose body fat. They know how many calories they need to take in if they want to train for a marathon. They know their numbers, because calories is a science, and you can't argue with science. See, it's called the first law of thermodynamics. You cannot create or destroy energy. You can only convert it from one form to another. So let's say you want to lose body fat, and body fat is stored energy. If you want to lose that body fat, you have to turn kinetic energy moving. You've got to take that body fat and turn it into that kinetic energy. You've got to take that stored energy, turn it into moving energy, and you can change your body composition. Okay, but you cannot just, you hear a lot of fad diets and a lot of programs and a lot of commercials and a lot of advertising. And a lot of people that are trying to make millions and millions and millions of dollars off of you and off of us wanting an easy solution that say, hey, never count calories again. It doesn't work, okay? I'm here to tell you that they're just trying to get your money. Yes, calories do matter. Does that mean, because I got some questions and comments from you guys. Some of you said, well, I don't want to have to be counting calories for the rest of my life. Good news, you don't have to, okay? But what I will tell you is that you need to know what your numbers are. And we're going to talk more about the other five secrets in just a second. But number one is you need to know how many calories. Everybody's different, by the way. Everybody's number is different. It's based on your height and your weight and your activity level and your age and your gender. And there's a formula for it, believe it or not. And once you know it, you know it. And does it change? Absolutely it changes. We're going to talk about making sure that you recalibrate every once in a while. But the point is that people that are fit and stay fit, they know their numbers. They know how many calories they're supposed to be taking in on a daily basis. They know how much protein their particular body type needs on a daily basis. They know how many carbohydrates that they need on a daily basis. And yeah, you need carbohydrates, okay? They know how many fats they should have in their diet. They absolutely know their numbers, and that's one of the things that we cover in our 8-week program is I will walk you step by step on how to calculate those numbers for you, not for anybody else, not for that fad diet that I jumped on that was for the masses. It just sunk me down to 900 calories. Obviously, it did not have me in mind, right? If you jump on a program that's made for the masses and you don't take your individual needs into account, then you're going to get it wrong. I'm going to walk you through how to get these numbers specifically for you, for your goals, for your activity level, for what you're able to do week to week, okay? Number one is they know their numbers. Number two, don't let me lose you here. This is important. Number two is they know their quantities because they measure their food. Okay? Don't go anywhere. Stay with me. Okay? They measure their food. Not every single day, not every single meal, but from time to time, people that are living a fitness lifestyle recalibrate measuring their food. Okay? My wife and I are going through that right now. We're making sure that we haven't got, sometimes we think, well, at the beginning, that's 3 ounces of meat. Okay, and then pretty soon it starts to expand, and we go, that's 3 ounces of meat, or that's 4 ounces of meat, or this is that fits in my hand. That's a half a cup of brown rice. Whereas over time we might start to expand that amount, and we get off. We get off by our measurements, and so every once in a while you need to come back around and recalibrate. And so what I'm here to tell you is listen. Hang with me, because right now you're thinking, okay, I've got to count calories and I've got to measure everything. I'm out. Did I tell you we were going to try something different? Did I tell you that we're not after a quick fix solution, that we're after something that is a fitness lifestyle? Here's something that I tell my clients. If you're looking for a temporary fix, then take a temporary approach. But if you're looking for a permanent fix, a lifestyle, then you have to take a permanent approach. And what I'm sharing with you here now is a permanent approach. When you learn these things, you will no longer be dependent on those fad diets, diet dependency. Okay, I told you we were going to talk about that in this video. You become fitness independent. You become somebody that's living a fitness lifestyle because you're independent to make your own choices, to make your own decisions, to eat the things that you want because you know your numbers and you know what those quantities are. So in the beginning of my program, yeah, we start off measuring things because I want you to get an idea of what that looks like. Do you have to continue to measure things every single day for the rest of your life? Absolutely not. Because once you see it, you have a pretty good idea of what it looks like. And then you recalibrate from time to time. Not every other day, maybe every month, maybe every other month. But the point is, you know what those quantities look like. The third thing that fitness lifestylers do, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little cliche here for a moment, but then I want to explain it a little bit further, is that fitness lifestylers eat to live. They do not live to eat. Okay? And what that simply means, besides just being a cliche that you hear fitness people say all the time, I'm going to break it down for you. That means that they make their decisions on what they're eating based on how it's going to fuel their body. They don't make decisions based on how good that food is going to taste in their mouth. Okay? Now, I say this is probably the case 99% of the time. When you choose your breakfast and you choose your lunch and you choose your dinner and you choose your snacks, you choose them based on how they're going to fuel your body. So if you're making choices based on how they're going to fuel your body, you have to know something a little bit about what food does to your body. So hand in hand with this, and I didn't put it as a separate secret, hand in hand, when you make decisions based on eating to live and not living to eat, that means you have some knowledge about what that food does for you. You know what lean protein does for your body. You know that it helps you maintain muscle tissue. And when you maintain muscle tissue, your metabolism stays sped up. And when your metabolism stays sped up, you burn calories. And when you burn calories, it's a lot easier to stay in shape. Okay, so you know about the effects of sugar on your body, flour and sugar, and how that impacts your blood sugar and how your body goes into storage mode. So when you're equipped with this knowledge, and I just gave you a little taste of it right there, but we get really deep into it in the program. When you have that knowledge, you can make knowledgeable choices. You can make good decisions, and you eat to live, and you don't live to eat. Does that mean that you can never have that decadent chocolate dessert ever again? No, it doesn't mean that. We're going to talk about that in just a second. When we talk about cravings. Okay, so that's my teaser. I'm going to talk about cravings. That's my gift to you that I'm going to give at the end of this video. So hang with me. We're getting through it. We're on number 3 of 5 right now. So what we cover is understanding how food affects the body. Being a mindful eater. That simply means that all you have to do is think about what you're putting into your body before you put it into your body. You don't just act on instinct. Okay? The fourth thing that fitness lifestylers do when it comes to food is that they have set meal times, set snack times, and those times are typically 5 to 6 times per day. Well, Mike, I don't have time to eat. I'm on the go all the time. I travel and I work and we have meetings and we have this and we have that. Well, those things that you have right now are called limiting beliefs, because I can promise you that everybody has time to do this type of eating, to do aligned eating, to eat 5 to 6 times per day, especially if you follow all the principles and all the guidelines that we have in our 8-week program. But they have set times. Number one, let's talk about that part first. Set times. I know when I'm going to eat breakfast. I know when I'm going to eat lunch. I know when I'm going to eat dinner. And I know when I'm going to have snacks in between. I eat about 6 times a day. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 6. Okay, and I know that there's mindsets out there that say, well, you should really just try to limit the amount of times that you eat per day. And look, I'm a big believer in metabolism. I'm a big believer in that you fuel your body, you fuel your metabolism, and it keeps you sped up. It's going to give you more energy, and it's going to have you burning calories at a more rapid pace on a daily basis. So we're talking about my fitness program here and what I've seen work over the last 16 years and what's worked for me personally. So that's what I'm sharing with you here. But point number one is that you have set meal times. Don't get caught up in not knowing what time your next meal is going to be. Okay, and if that takes some planning, then it takes some planning. We'll talk about that in just a second. That's actually the next step. But they have set meal times, people that are fitness lifestyles. So if you don't have set meal times right now, you need to set your meal times and your snack times. And that needs to be 5 to 6 times per day. Got it? Good. All right, I thought you would. All right, we're at number 5. We're at number 5 right now. So hang with me, we're almost there. Number 5, and this is hugely important. Fitness lifestylers prepare ahead of time. Okay? I use Sunday as my preparation day. I will prepare food for the entire week. And that is how I operate on the 5-minute meal plan. Okay, my 5-minute meal plan is because I have prepared for it. I have taken some time to prepare food in my refrigerator, things that are conducive with my goal, things that will get me closer and keep me closer to my fitness lifestyle. I have prepared them ahead of time so that when I'm hungry, I don't have to go prepare a gourmet meal. I can go straight to the fridge, I can grab the things that I want and put them in the microwave to heat them up, or throw it together if it doesn't require heating up. My snacks are prepared ahead of time. I know exactly what I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat it, and it's pre-packaged. Okay, I'm not talking about pre-packaged from the manufacturer. I'm talking about I put it together. I prepare it. I know it's ready to go. Does it sound like a lot of work to you? It's not. Okay, we're going to talk. Do you know this whole program starts with the aligned mind? The aligned mind. Okay, in week 1 of my 8-week program, we start with an aligned mind, because none of the other stuff I'm going to share with you matters unless you get this where it needs to be for this program. Okay, so the aligned mind is taking those old limiting beliefs and learning how to restructure them and learning how to change them, and it's really cool stuff when you learn how to be mindful about all of this, and we're going to do that. Okay, but you prepare ahead of time. Now that also, I'm not going to get into an aligned environment right now, okay, but it is in our program. It's one of the aspects that we're going to talk about in the next video. But environment, so you might be thinking, well, what about if I'm eating out? Or what about if my company is catering in for the meeting that day? What do I do in those situations? Just know that we cover that in the environment section, how to prepare for your aligned environment. But also know that people that are fitness lifestyles think ahead to that type of situation and they prepare for it. Okay, they make decisions based on knowing. Okay, but we don't wait. What I want you to understand is we don't wait as fitness lifestylers. And I believe you're a fitness lifestyler. If you're watching this video right now, there's a fitness lifestyler inside of you begging to be released. Okay, so you're in my club. But what we don't do is we don't wait till the moment that we get there to make decisions. We make decisions ahead of time. We plan around our imperfections. You might remember me saying that from video number 1. It's not about perfection. It's about planning around our imperfections. Planning. That's step number 5. Okay, now I already kind of mentioned a bonus step in here, step number 6. I said this is the 5 secrets, but this ties back to number 1 and number 2, which was knowing your numbers and measuring. It is recalibrate. One of the things that fitness lifestylers do is they recalibrate month to month or every couple of months. But you don't let too much time go by to where you go, I wonder if I'm measuring that right anymore. Or I wonder if I've got my calories where they need to be. Because your goals change, your body changes, your activity level changes based on what you're doing. And you get off when it comes to measuring your food. When you get to a point where you're just eyeing it, from that point on, you need to recalibrate, because I can guarantee you, you're just going to get off a degree, and then off a degree, and then off a degree, and before you know it, you're pretty off, okay? So, recalibration. Now, here's my gift to you for this particular video, okay? Because I want you to know all these things we cover in great detail in every module that we do with our 8-week program. But I'm going to give you something right now, is how do we, okay, Mike, this all sounds great, but I'm a chocoholic. Or I absolutely crave pizza, or whatever it might be. Cravings. How do we deal with cravings? Well, first of all, let me just, as a quick side note, say that a lot of times cravings have to do with blood sugar regulation and what you're putting into your body and how your body responds to that. This isn't the section we're going to cover that. We do cover that in the 8-week program when it comes to making food choices and how it affects your body. But right now, I'm going to give you something that's just, when we talked about being mindful when you eat. And I know that sounds so Jedi mind tricky, be mindful of your eating. But here's all that means for me and what I think it can mean for you. How do you control your cravings? You control your cravings with questions. You control your cravings with questions. And this is a technique that I use, very similar to the 5-minute mindset. It's a technique that I use. Let's say there was a point in my life where fried chicken and me, we were friends. And I really liked this particular brand of fried chicken. It was a fast food, right? And I got to a point where I realized that there's different degrees of craving. There's not just I want it or I don't want it. Let me say that slower so it sinks in. There's not just I want it and I don't want it. There's different degrees in between. Okay, so I call this the fried chicken scale. All right, you ready? On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do I want that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do I want that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do I have to have that Godiva chocolate cake for dessert? On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do I want that vanilla ice cream? On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do I want to, eat whatever it is or drink whatever it is? But to stop and to think on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do I want that? Okay? Now, here's the deal. If you're 1 through 8, you don't want it bad enough, okay? So just set up a rule, a guideline that says if I'm a 1 to 8, it can wait. If it's 1 to 8, it can wait. Don't you just love rhymes? I do. If it's 1 to 8, it can wait. You're not saying I can't have it. You're saying I can wait to have it. And there's something powerful about that language and that mindset where you're not saying it's taken away from me, so now I want it more. You're simply saying if it's a 1 to 8, it can wait. I don't want it on a 9 or a 10. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about what happens if you're a 9 or a 10. All right? But a 1 to 8, it can wait. Wait till when? I don't know. Until that craving comes. That's the funny thing about cravings is cravings are just that. They're cravings. So they can go away. Cravings can go away. So if you're in a 1 to 8, just tell yourself, hey, it can wait. No big deal. Don't make it a big deal. Don't make it a bunch of pressure on yourself. Don't be thinking, yeah, but I really maybe at a 9. If you're on a scale of 1 to 8. Okay, but isn't that freeing right there? That, okay, wait a minute. It's not just I want it or I don't want it. It's let me put a number on this thing. Maybe it just kind of sounded good, but now that I think about it, I don't really have to have it. Okay? I guarantee you that alone right there will help your decision making when it comes to those cravings. Okay? Now what happens if you're at a 9 or a 10 or maybe even 11? I absolutely want to have it right now. You're going to continue to control it with questions. You are. You're going to simply say, okay, do I really want it or do I want what I think it will bring me? Okay, write that down. Will you write that down for me? You write down a scale of 1 to 10, 1 through 8, it can wait. But then write down, do I really want it or do I want what I think it can bring me? Okay? And then answer yourself. If you say, well, I think I want what it can bring me. Like, let's say it's the end of the day and you're looking at that bottle of wine and you're thinking, I really want a glass of wine. Or a glass of wine. How many times do we fill it up, right? You ask yourself, do I really want it or do I want what I think it will bring me? Do I want what that food, that fast food restaurant will bring me? And a lot of times it's, well, I think I want what it'll bring me. I don't really want the food. I think it'll bring me peace of mind. It will help me decompress at the end of the day. It will make me feel comfortable. It'll make me feel full. It'll take my mind off stress that's in my life. I mean, be honest with yourself. This is why we call it controlling with questions. You got to ask yourself these questions. Do I want it or do I want what I think it will bring me? And if you think, well, I think I want what it'll bring me, then you have to ask the next question. What will it really bring me? What will it really bring me? Will it bring me that comfort and that? No, probably not, because I know that I'm probably going to feel sluggish afterwards, and I know my energy is not going to be good, and I know that guilt's going to set in, and I don't really want that guilt, and then I know that I'm going to get that landslide mentality that I've messed up, and it's going to affect. But you ask yourself these questions. Now, at the end of it all, if you say, no, I think I still want it, then I want you to do something. I want you to have it. I want you to have it. That's right. There's freedom in that, right? But don't just be Pavlov's dog and drive by a sign that makes you think you got to stop and get it. We have this gift of thoughtfulness, of mindfulness that we have as human beings that we get to think between that stimulus and our response. We get to think about how we want to act. We don't have to respond. And so if you do this, on a 1 to 10, where am I at? 1 through 8, it can wait. 9, 10, do I really want it or do I want what I think it will bring me? And will it bring me that or will it actually bring me something else? And is that something that I want? And if the answer is no, guess what? A lot of times at this point, your craving's gone. Okay, now what I'm not telling you is that you can never have chocolate again. What I'm not telling you is that you can never have French fries again. What I'm not telling you is that that you have to take something out of your life completely. But what I am telling you is that if you put the thoughtfulness, if you put the mindfulness in between your stimulus, your craving, your wanting, and your action, and you just ask yourself these few questions, it will make a tremendous difference in the way that you eat. It really will. I've seen it work. It's worked for me. It's worked for my clients, and it can work for you too. Isn't that exciting to know that you're adopting something that has worked for other people that are living a fitness lifestyle? I think it is. So that's it. That's my gift to you today is the control with questions when it comes to cravings. If you just take that and put it together with the 5-minute mindset when it comes to moving, and I hope that you are, you better be doing your homework assignment, which is that you've just stepped out your front door and you've gone for at least 5 minutes. Okay, go back and watch video 1 if you haven't watched it already. But, for this video, just knowing that fitness lifestylers, and you're one of them, they know their numbers, they measure, not for the rest of their life, but they do measure from time to time to recalibrate. They understand how foods affect their bodies, so therefore they eat to live and they don't live to eat. They have set meal times. They know when they're eating. They prepare ahead of time, okay? Because we prepare for those imperfections. We plan for those imperfections. And again, I mentioned recalibration, and we control our cravings with questions. That's how you live a fitness lifestyle, folks. And this is just a little bit of information that I'm sharing with you, and there's more to come. In video number 3, I want to share with you what I call the aligned 8. The 8 areas of your life that have to be aligned, and within each area, a set of guidelines to lead you. I call them guidelines, or I call them lifelines, because if you want to live a fitness lifestyle, you got to follow a line that leads you to that fitness lifestyle. And I will outline those 8 areas for you in the next video. And I hope that your curiosity is aroused, because you might be thinking, all right, there's food and there's cardio. What are these 8 areas? I can tell you this: if they're not aligned, it'll be very hard for you to live a fitness lifestyle, because each one can affect the other. So in video number 3, we're going to talk about the aligned 8, and you're going to do a little pop quiz to find out, how you are aligned in all of those areas. I can't wait to share it with you. It's coming up soon. In the meantime, would you do me a favor? Would you please give this post a like and comment in the sections below? I'd really like to know if there's any of these areas that you struggle with. Measuring your food, knowing your numbers. What areas do you think that you can work on when it comes to food? And I'd also like to know what you think about my cravings plan, about my control it with questions. Would you do me that favor? We got some great comments from video number 1. Just keep adding on. Let me know your comments, your questions. I was able to answer some questions that some of you guys had in this video, and I'll do the same for the next couple videos coming up. So please, do it now. Put your comments, put your questions in there. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in video number 3. And in the meantime, I'll be rooting you on.